it's Ronnie, and welcome to the Paper Crafting YouTubers group, Out All Night October YouTube Hop. So the theme is Out All Night. I don't know how they come up with these titles. I was trying to figure out what they were going to have for October and then gave up and looked. But it is also Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this series is double page layouts. And I am only going to use the right side. Today's sketch is by Sandy, who is State Goddess here on YouTube. So make sure you check her channel out. So this is a side, and it's got like papers at the top and the bottom, which I am going to have. It has a rectangular square for the title up on the top part. Mine is kind of long, so I will have a rectangular there though. I am scrapping these two photos here of my grandsons. You cannot tell who they are, and I told myself to put their names somewhere on here and forgot all about it till I was editing the video. I showed my Halloween dies I was going to be using, plus this one by Tim Holtz. And I'm using my spooky alphabet for a Halloween layout, and it's by Diamond Press. And I'm also going to use these memory box letters. I used a paper pad, and I forgot to show the paper pad, and I can't remember the name of it, but Debbie gave it to me, and she gave me pages from it. And so I picked out the ones I wanted to use, and although I had at first planned to put strips of the diagonal on there, and you might see that border strip down there at the bottom, but then I decided I wanted to tear, so I went ahead and tore both the cardstock and the diagonal stripe, and I'm only going to use one of the border strips I had planned to use. There were two different colors, so I decided to just go with one. I used Rusty Hinge. Oh, love that color in the autumn. And I did the packaging technique on the back, and now I'm going to layer my torn paper pieces and put them on the top and the bottom. Plus, I'm not sure if I remember to do it right then or not, but I am going to put my border piece on there sometime or other. I did a lot of fussy cutting because I had it originally planned one way, and then I ran across that diagonal stripe one, and I had to use it. So that's when the tearing came in and planning on using it. And also when I went to cut the borders for the photos, I wasn't paying attention and I cut the diagonal one wrong numbers. So yeah, they weren't quite as tall as they should have been. So I had to cut off on my photos a little bit to make them fit because that's the only sheet I had. So I was making it stretch. I even cut my alphas out of it and then put my photos on. This cauldron, I've always loved it. It came from Peachy Cheap one day on one of their specials years ago. And I don't normally use the hand of the witch, but I am going to use it today. And the paper, I used white cardstock and inked it with the lightest green I had and close to my heart. And it is an older one, as you can tell from the lid and how it flips. It is not one of those cute magnetic ones. Well, I'm not sure what they're going to have now since they're with Stampin' Up, but all the ones I have are the older ones. I cut out this little adorable skeleton. Says my oldest grandson there is in a skeleton costume. Now, I took pictures of them walking up the sidewalk with a couple other people, and then I wanted to take pictures of them by themselves. Well, I went to take Jake's, and so that's why he's there by himself. And then when I went to take Casey's, he was telling me he wanted to wait till he got inside. He wanted to show me something. And I went along with it. Well, it's glow in the dark. He found the darkest corner he could find inside. And I took his picture there. This was at our local, well, it's called Coliseum. It's a big community-like center thingy. And this Halloween, manufacturers and businesses and stuff in town were kind of having a trunk party like. but they gave out candy, they had games and prizes and all kinds of stuff. So it was really a good night for the boys. My daughter organized it through the Chamber of Commerce. So we didn't get to see much of her, but we did see her a little bit. But we had lots of, well, they definitely had lots of fun. They played lots of games. Um, and the camera that I had, the well, it was a phone. It did not take very good pictures, so some of the others playing games were really blurry. So they have never made it on a layout. Um, I'm cutting my little guy apart. I put black behind there. I debated on that because I'd never done it before. I don't remember doing it. And I forget to highlight that part, but I will. The pictures at the end will have highlights on his eyes and stuff. But I cut his leg apart because I wanted to put it in another position. A couple of times I just clipped halfway through and kind of bent just a little bit more than the straight arm or leg would call for. But I was trying to put him in a position I like coming out of the cauldron. I will remember that I wanted to put a leg and foot in there too, and it'll be right there at the end. I started to show the close up of the page and realized it was not in there, so I will be adding it right there at the end. I am just going to kind of, well, I was thinking when I was doing this, I thought, well, I don't have three pictures, I have two. And so this is my third picture, sort of. It's a large scene cluster here. And I just added it on there. And I didn't put mine straight across since my tears weren't straight across. And yeah, now I'm finally remembering to put on that border. I had this little, um, oh, my mind went blank, spider web. And because I was thinking ahead of myself, that is a Tim Holtz spider web there with the spider. And I just got that last year, a year before. But I had this other one for many years. And so I had some paper doilies that you can get at Hobby Lobby in the party section at Halloween. They are awesome. And I use them quite a bit. But I thought I want one that I can just have all the time so I won't have to go hunting for the party ones. I still have some, but I ordered that because I think there was like 25 in a package, so they go pretty far. Um, this sign here, it's so cute, and I am so sorry that I'm out of frame, but it says fright this way. Instead of right this way, it says fright. So it went on the layout, of course. And you can see how many embellishments I have in that tray. And the brown and black colored ones, I am not using. I'm using the more colorful ones. The paper I had picked out for the background, oh my goodness, I really loved that. But my photos didn't seem to show up as well on it. So when I ran across this diagonal paper, I thought, I got to use that. And I did use it for my title there. And it kind of blends in just a wee bit too much. And I'm watching the video and editing and editing. And I even had started my voiceover. I thought I want to do something else with it. So the pictures will be different from the layout because, yeah, I added to the title. Oh, I'm back over here on my little cluster because I thought, oh man, I never finished it. My phone had rang, and when I came back, I just started on the title, I think, or maybe it was a little spider webs. Maybe that was it. But yeah, I had to add some little more bubbles there with my cauldron. I am just tucking both of the spider webs got tucked in, and well, I think they've been on there a little while. I fussy cut these two ghosts out. Now I cut them out of the paper with all the darker stuff, but I wanted to use them on the layout, so I am going to go ahead and add three of them. So the last one's down there by the cauldron, and I had a lot of fun creating this. My determination when I pulled out those papers Debbie gave me, I thought I am going to use them and some cardstock and not use anything else that not pull out any stickers that I have because I'm sure I have some. but to use those. So everything here except for the cardstock that was die cut out is from that paper pad that Debbie shared with me. Oh, here is where I remembered the witch's leg and foot. So I am making a foot. I just freehand cut the boot, and I am, well, see, I'm tapering it down the leg just a little bit so that it looks more like a leg should instead of being completely straight. And I inked it in black soot since it was the witch's stocking, and I am going to tuck it in back there. And I already glued down, so I had to make some a gap there. And yeah, so that little spatula comes in so handy for that. So I added it, and then I'm going to pull out my white gel pen and give it some highlights. And that's when I should have done the eyeballs and stuff on the little skeleton, but it will get done when I go back in there and add to the title. Now, when I was adding to the title first, I thought I would put the cardstock that I'm bringing in straight over the top, but instead I kind of set it off center like I did this diagonal one because I really wanted that diagonal stripe to show. So it is still on there, but I added the more of the burnt orange color cardstock. And there's my little guy making himself comfortable climbing after he climbs out of the cauldron because I'm thinking he was in there and then he's climbing out. And there's my title converted just a little bit. It just wasn't showing up quite the way I wanted it to with those splatters in the background. I think if I'd went ahead and left it completely white, it would have showed up a little better. And there's my highlighting on my little guy, plus highlighting on the spider web and the spider. But in Tybalt fashion, it's a little bit of a wonky spider web, and I think that is really cute. So that's why I fell in love with this one when I was looking for a spider web die. That was bigger than the one I already had. And speaking of spider webs, the other day I had to go to the doctor. I opened my front door and went to walk out. I mean, just overnight, of course. A spider can build a web. I walked right into one, didn't see it. It was all over my face, my hair. Oh, it was horrible. I was like, ah. So, yeah, I had to come back in and take care of that before I left for the doctor. But that's it. That's my layout. Make sure you check out the links down there below for the paper crafting YouTubers. There's a group on Facebook, and they are content creators for YouTube. So it's a hop every month on the first Saturday. And then there's a master link, well, playlist to all of 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And like I said, this month it's all double page layouts. And but you don't have to do both. So I chose not to do both today. But you can see where I had the layout as inspiration. I just kind of used it as inspiration instead of completely copying it. But check out the links and everything down there below, and I hope you all have a happy, scrappy week. And thank you so very much for joining me while I created my layout. Bye!